one of the things I've learned is that it's become a more strategically important and economically vital place because of global warming and because the ice has melted to allow extraction to be more cost effective. It means there's more likely that the Chinese are going to be in those waters. Why haven't these two things happened? Why hasn't the Danish government invested in a way? Why aren't there more hotels? Why isn't there more tourism? Why isn't there more extraction? It seems like the Danish government is sitting on this hugely valuable thing. They haven't done as much as they can. And then, relatedly, why hasn't NATO put more there? Like, why did we let the Chinese open mines? Why aren't we opening the mines? Why aren't we building a even bigger base there than we had, as expensive as it is?
Let me take the military part first.
Yeah.
The military part is actually the American military presence in Greenland used to be quite large. So we had, I believe it was three fully operating bases in Greenland in the aftermath of World War II. Really, it was an extraordinarily strategic. And you made the point earlier. You were making the economic argument that Greenland is more strategically important than it's ever been now. That was not the case back during the Cold War. I mean, considering Greenland's proximity to the then Soviet Union, the military presence in the American military, NATO military presence in Greenland was extremely important to the West, to the alliance. The main commercial airport in Greenland, which is called Kangerlussuaq, used to be an American military base. We closed it. There was another military base in the south that we closed as well. So the only one remaining is Thule. Now, I will tell you this, that again, if we wanted to up our military presence on Greenland, or NATO wanted to up their military presence in Greenland, again, a lot of this is a cost argument. It is an incredibly challenging place to get to and to actually have human beings live. You really do have to bring in everything and actually build the infrastructure. Thule, or the Pacific Space Base, has done that. But it's at a time when governments are making tough decisions as to where to invest. Greenland has to be at the forefront here. So it is, I think the Greenlanders and the Danes would welcome further military investment.
So why, and my second question, which was my first question, why haven't the Danes made it more than they have?
Well, look, on the military, from a military standpoint,
No,
or
for economics,
well,
tourism, extraction of minerals.
For example, I'll give you just one example. They actually just did. So there used to be commercial flights not too long ago between the continental United States and Greenland. They weren't commercially viable, so they canceled them. You used to be able to fly from BWI directly to Greenland, commercial flights. I forget what airline it was, but they weren't commercially viable, so they ended those routes. They just opened Nuuk, the capital. To fly to Greenland, most people, unless you have some fancy private way to get there, you have to fly to Kangerlussuaq, the old American base, and then take another plane to Greenland. And considering the weather, you have to sort of set a week aside because it's very, very complicated to move around. They just opened up a larger commercial airport in Nuuk, so it makes it easier to get to. Ilulissat, which is the main sort of tourist destination, kind of in the middle of the west coast of Greenland, where all the icebergs are and whatnot, where the sort of ice sheet melts. They have built a number of hotels over the course of the last few years, but ultimately this is about demand, Mark, right? So you need to encourage, I mean, if you go to the Visit Greenland website, which is kind of the main tourism website in Greenland, it's a beautiful website. We still got to get people there, right? So right now you either have to fly through, an American would have to fly through Copenhagen in order to get to Greenland, or there are some flights from Iceland, I think, in the on season. But so if we can try to create this market, which every U.S. ambassador has tried to do, with some more success than others, we would love it. The Danes would love it. The Greenlanders would love it. This isn't just about this isn't just about Denmark. Denmark invests a lot in Greenland. I think it's about all of us who actually want to open this up. In the same way, the model that the Greenlanders use constantly is Iceland. So Iceland is somewhat similar. Obviously, Reykjavik right now, I'm a Boston guy like Sean is, or New Englander like Sean is. The flight from Boston to Reykjavik is what, 3.5, 4 hours, something like that. It's obviously, people go for long weekends. They would love for Greenland to be the same thing. Iceland has built that infrastructure. Greenland, admittedly, is, I don't know what, 10 times the size of Iceland. I think there's 50 kilometers of roads on the entire island. So it's very different than Iceland. So there's lots, and the climate is nothing like Iceland. It's actually much more severe. So there's just tons more money to invest. There's tons more work to do. If folks want to do it, everybody is open to that. Everybody is open to that. But it's got to require. Look, it's got to be profitable, and there's got to be a demand for it, and that has not historically existed. So that's kind of where we are here.